Hi, welcome to Magic Lantern Films video web rant. I'm Peter Aramo. Thanks for watching. This was a weekly video web rant, but it's been about a month that I haven't posted one. I thought it would be easy to come up with something every week, but rather than inundate you once a week with just drivel, I figured I'd wait until something did pop up, and something did last week, so I figured now was a great time to post a new video web rant, and I'll try to do so more often. And this one comes in the form of the new comedy that was released last week called GrownUps, the Adam Sandler film that he co-wrote with the stellar cast. And before I get to the actual movie, there were a couple things that bothered me about the whole movie-going experience of seeing this film. The first one was the previews. Is every movie now coming out in 3D? Is this necessary? I was a little bit bothered that almost every trailer that I saw was available that was now in 3D. The problem I have with that is my father, who is now 62, I think he went to some movie, it was How to Train Your Dragon or something in 3D with his grandson, my nephew, who is 4. And instead of paying the matinee price, senior citizen and a child, they just had to pay the two 3D, the cost, the price of admission for this 3D, and it was ridiculous. Instead of it coming out to $10 for the two of them, you have to pay over $20 because it's in 3D for a 4-year-old and a 62-year-old who really doesn't want to see the movie anyway. So the 3D thing is just a complete rip-off. Another thing that bothered me was I have to sit through 2.5 minutes of watching the Little Fockers trailer, which bothered the hell out of me. De Niro cashing in yet another check. I'm still waiting for him to pull in some sort of performance. Was a little bit of a disgrace. But there was one good shining light, and it's the difference between an actor like Dustin Hoffman, who realizes he made a mistake, or did just one of them, but isn't willing to, consistently do it. I didn't see him anywhere in the trailer or listed on the credits. So good for you, Dustin Hoffman, and De Niro, you keep cashing those checks, okay? So that bothered me. And also the title of Little Fockers. How many times are they going to use this same joke over and over again? They used it like 30 times just in the first movie. Oh, I can't wait to see this Little Focker. It was funny like 1 or 2 times in the first movie. You're on your 3rd movie now and you make it the title. I think it's, I don't know, a little trite at this point and a little monotonous. Also, finally, before I get to the disaster that was Grown-Ups, this Katherine Heigl experiment has got to stop. Her new movie Life as We Know It, I saw that trailer. There's an upside and downside to this Katherine Heigl experiment. The upside is that I don't have to see the movie. I know the beginning, middle, and end just by watching the trailer. I could probably write a complete, full movie review just by watching the trailers of the movies that she's in. The downside is that she's still making movies, and that Hollywood continues to cast her in the romantic comedies that you can pretty much guess everything about the movie and know exactly how everything's going to turn out just by watching the trailer. So that's the downside. On to Grown-Ups. Look, I take offense to people calling me a movie snob and people saying, oh, you just got to take it for what it is and you got to have a sense of humor, you got to laugh. I'm all about that, all right? That's fine, okay? I liked You Don't Mess with the Zohan. I liked Chuck and Larry. I liked those 2 films. I liked earlier this year, Hot Tub Time Machine. It was fine. I could do that. I don't consider myself that much of a movie snob. If it's silly and funny, old school Zoolander, I'll laugh. Look at my comedy list that's on this website. There are intelligent comedies and there are silly, stupid comedies that I can't help but laugh at. Ironically, Chuck and Larry and Zohan, 2 movies which I did like, is done by the same director here as Grown-Ups. Now you have this cast here, this incredibly talented comedic cast. There's no doubt about that. Where you have Adam Sandler, you have Kevin James, you have Chris Rock, David Spade, Rob Schneider, Maria Bello, Selma Hayek. I mean, that's a nice cast, and it's just like an Ocean's 12. Whereas, all right, let's get all these people together, and people will just pay their money anyway because they see us having a good time. They'll see it because the cast is so good. So let's just come up with some silly little story just as a reason for us to all to get together and have fun. And that's what this was, and it is an insult to the audience, I think. Even Clooney, when he was releasing the 3rd Ocean's movie, had said this is kind of an apology because of what we did with the 2nd one. He knew, and he was smart enough to say it. Grown-Ups is a slap in the face. It's an insult. And the worst part of it is, it's not funny. I maybe chuckled maybe 2 or 3 times in the whole thing, but there's not a laugh out loud moment. And with all of these actors coming together in this big chill type of environment of the death of one of their brethren, their coach, it was a contrived reason for them to get together. There were a lot of things that I didn't buy, and my expectations were pretty high with this sort of cast. Not one of the members had a moment to laugh at. The same jokes were regurgitated over and over again. The Maria Bello breastfeeding scene is maybe funny once, not twice or 5 or 6 times. It gets annoying. The same fart jokes over and over. And I just didn't buy a lot of things with regard to the movie that just bothered me. Obviously, if you don't know about it, first of all, don't see the movie. Don't give this movie any more money than it's already gotten, okay? Part of it is Adam Sandler as co-writer. It's not a well-drafted story. And again, I didn't buy a lot of things. It's these 5 kids on this basketball team. It was the only championship team of this 1978. It was almost like a Pee Wee League basketball team. And they find out years later, when they're approaching kind of like midlife crisis, and they all have families except for David Spade, and they're reconnecting with family and reconnecting with friends. And the movie means well, okay? It wants to have a heart. I understand that, okay? And so it gives them a reason to come together years later at the funeral of their old beloved basketball coach, who they've not kept in touch with, certainly not have seen. And apparently, and one thing that I didn't buy was that there were 5 guys on this basketball team. And I even said, like, is anybody bothered by this, that there are only 5 people on this basketball team that went undefeated and won the championship? Meaning if one kid was sick or couldn't make a game, wouldn't you forfeit? At least have some more little extras or substitutes on this team. Give us a 6th man, for Christ's sakes. That I didn't buy. The other stupid thing I didn't buy was Adam Sandler, who is this rich, very successful Hollywood man, has a nanny, and he's embarrassed that he has a nanny. So he's going on with the joke of, he's making it look like she's just a foreign exchange student and not a nanny to his overspoiled kids. You think he would have at one time told the nanny, hey, look, you're a foreign exchange student, you're not my nanny. But instead, that continues to go on, and it's just stupid. It's not even funny, and it doesn't make sense, and it's not believable. So I didn't get that. They try to come up with the contrived villain also, or and in that they come up with Colin Quinn, who's a very good comedian, Steve Buscemi, and they're the old rivals from the basketball game, and there's this big rematch that there's not much of a build-up to. It just kind of happens. Nothing's leading up to it, but the movie didn't need a villain or a conflict. The conflict was there within the families and within themselves. They didn't need to have this, but they decided to throw it in, and that was even very anticlimactic, very, very silly, and really there's just too many characters here. And again, they don't have their moment, and there's just too much to go around. And really, David Spade is the single womanizer. You're not going to cast somebody that's actually right for the part. You're gonna cast David Spade in this, and he's supposed to be the good-looking single womanizer. That's what I'm supposed to swallow. I'm supposed to buy this. I don't know. I was almost angered at the movie. Don't see it. It's certainly not funny. I don't even know what to say. Again, great comedians, all of them, for the most part. I was just expecting a lot more, and really, in the end, I think what's much better is probably I'd rather see 100 minutes of outtakes with these guys, because it looked like they were having fun. I'd rather watch the outtakes than actually watch what they gave us as a complete whole film, which was not very good at all. So stay away from Grown Ups. Wait for another comedy that comes out, Despicable Me. I'm very excited about seeing that. Dinner with Schmucks, which is the American version of a great French film, The Dinner Party, which I did a previous post on. That looks funny, but I don't know. Grown Ups, I had a lot of expectations. My only expectations were that I was going to laugh and that I thought it was going to be funny, and it was neither of those. And just a disappointment. So I figured instead of writing a bad review, it was too much to write a bad review. I just had to get it out on video. So thanks for watching. Hopefully it won't be another month for the next video web rant. It'll be in hopefully next week. Thanks for watching, and write your comments. I'd like to see what you thought if you actually saw this pathetic movie. Thanks a lot. Take care.